And Deacon Jim, how did you, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, certainly. As Brother Al, I was brought up in Brooklyn, a Lady Help of Christians parish. I had the lovely Sisters of Charity of Halifax, who gave me a very good foundation. From there, I went to Fordham University, and after Fordham, I went into the financial business after a little stint in the service, and I was with Merrill Lynch for 35 years. My clerical life really began when I was ordained by Cardinal O'Connor in 1991. Actually, this November 23rd will be my silver anniversary as a deacon. And I have 3 children. I am a widower. My wife died on the Feast of the Assumption back in 1991. It was 3 months before I was ordained, but she's looked after me since then from up above. And I have 10 grandchildren. Wow. Also, my main focus as a deacon has been with the Respect Life. For the last 20 some odd years, I've been the area coordinator for the Respect Life Family Life Office. I tie in with Sister Lucy Marie, Sister Shirley. So I do that. And then also I've been on the board of directors of the Crossroad Foundation on Staten Island, which helps a woman that have unplanned pregnancies.
Yes.
And I was president of that organization for 10 years. Also, I've run the annual communion brunch for the benefit of Good Counsel Homes with Chris Bell. I've been doing that for about 20 years. So the Respect Life has been a big part of my vocation, but also the adoration. I've been the director of our core group who handles the day-to-day operations of the chapel for over 20 years. And I have to tell you, Father, it just has given me so much peace in my life. With my work, it was a high-stress position with the financial industry, and with my wife dying with 3 children in their teens, it was very difficult, but it really brings you through it. And I'm just so happy that I got involved.
Very good, very good. Now, Dr. Meli, you were co-foundress, and what inspired you to do this?
You know, there's a friary, the St. Francis Friary in Staten Island.
I've preached there a few times.
Yes, and Father Philip Blaine, he was holding first Friday, first Saturday vigils for 3 years. And I remember our minister, our fraternity minister, would always say, please, Lord, give us Adoration Chapel, Perpetual Adoration Chapel in Staten Island. And I really wondered what that was all about, because I didn't know. But slowly, after praying about it, I felt instinctively that there was somebody else working on this in the island. I don't know how, but I just felt. So through some friends, I got in touch with Barbara. We didn't know each other. She was from one side of the island and I was from the other side. And we were brought together and we met in my home. And we started to discuss how we can bring people in to help us. So then what we did was to, she and I would go to the different churches and beg for 5 minutes after Mass if we could just talk to the people to campaign for signatures. And the first 2 weeks, Father, we got 600 signatures of people interested in it. So now we thought we'd present this to the parish priests and all that. And we were not too successful with that because of the logistics, you know, security problems and all that. And there was one who was interested, but it was not the perfect setup because of the location of the church. So we asked the Lord where he would want to go. And I think he answered us by bringing us to the right place. Yes, and so through some friends, Barbara finally got in touch with Brother Al. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, if an inspiration is from God, it'll eventually work out the details. Details are nothing for Jesus. He takes care, you know.
He takes care of everything.
And
yes.
of course, the providence of God is working well before we even become aware that something's happening. You know, he's lining things up. And was it Father Lacodaire used to say, the only thing I know about tomorrow is that God's providence will rise before the sun. In other words, he's getting tomorrow ready, even before the day starts. Right. Well, that's a beautiful thing, Dr. Meli. And your own inspiration, the leading that you and Barbara had, have touched many souls, many hearts, you know, and I'm sure that it's spreading way beyond the pearl of the Atlantic, if I may call it.
Thank you.
Okay. How has adoration then affected you, your family, or how some of the people in your prayer group? Are there some stories that sort of stand out that would edify?
Oh, yes. It brought us, first of all, closer to each other, because then we would start everything with prayer. And it makes you, of course, a better person, a more understanding person. And we worked out in such a way that, first of all, we didn't have any money, you know, to put things together. So as a Franciscan, I learned very well how to beg for everything, you know, to raise the funds so that we can fix up, yes. And it's very good for humility, Father, as you know. But we got there and we had the chapel. We had a lot of help from people, Father. So many people, we can't even begin. Many of them are gone now. They're with the Lord, you know. Yeah. Yes, and of course, as when you become a better person, then you're a better mother, you're a better wife, you're a better doctor.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
that's
true.
it. So.
Did you see that affecting your
practice? Yes,
practice?
Yeah, your patience for people, and your love for them. Actually, you do everything with love. You know.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, you know, the burning love from Christ and Eucharist. In our community, we make a holy hour every day, Eucharistic holy hour, and that's so very important. You know, to sustain our own lives, and love will keep that faith alive, you know, and that faith, when that faith is strong, love becomes stronger, you know, it just begins to blossom more, you know. What are some of the effects then that you've seen? How about for you, Deacon Jim?
Yes, I like to talk about two people in particular. One of them, his name is Bruce Smoker. He's in his late 80s now, and he's ill. But this man, Father, for years and years, if we needed somebody at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, he would always be there. And I noticed a great peace came over him and stayed with him. He's actually a war hero too. He helped liberate Dachau, the concentration camp. Yeah. And I find the greatest generation people have been so important to us in the chapel. Another person would be a fellow by the name of Billy Wright. And he was over in Vietnam, right in the middle of the fighting. And in fact, he's ill now because of Agent Orange. But Billy, every time with the overnights, you need somebody at 1, you need somebody at 2. And even though he's gone through so much himself, you know, health-wise, they're always there. And I notice just the peacefulness that comes about. And even with myself, when my wife died with the teenagers. It was very rough, but it was like an oasis coming to the chapel and having that little, and it would invigorate me and help me carry on.
Yeah, and isn't it true? I mean, you sit there in the presence of Christ. From his heart, his love, his peace is just flowing. I mean, you read the diary of St. Faustina and you just come away with the great peace that Christ is giving us